This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
The text message was intriguing. Any sane member of society would have ignored it. I am no such person. It arrived at 12 on the dot on New Year's Eve. The message, cryptic. The outcome, welcome. It said simply, "The Hyatt, booking under Marie Saint. Your suite has been fully funded. Bring enough clothes and supplies for a week." The following message contained a barcode that, when activated on a link on my phone, led to a downloaded government-issued ID for someone named Terrence Cartwright of 54 Acreville Road, Mascot. Terrence had the same face as my own, hence my intrigue. The concierge at the front desk of the Hyatt asked no questions when I relayed the message bestowed on me in the cryptic text. He glanced over my government-issued ID, which was available on my phone's wallet, and conducted the necessary checks and balances in his little Hyatt-issued portable touchscreen. He was satisfied he had done enough to issue me a room key. The time was 2:17 a.m. on New Year's Day. The hallway on the 11th floor was quiet. 1,000 hangovers slept under the silk sheets that only a 5-star hotel could supply. The scented perfume flowed freely from the vents. The experience was alluring. I didn't question a thing. In hindsight, I should have. I used the facilities in my ensuite as the whole endeavor freaked me out. I showered and lay on the bed. I watched for hours as the city below quieted from the fireworks display. The street sweepers were ignited and began to roar their diesel engines up and down the boulevards, careful not to mop up the odd, unconscious partygoer. The phone rang at 4:57 a.m., just as the sun peered a crack in the sky. "Mr. Cartwright," it was the front desk. "I have a Mr. Carver here to see you in the lobby. I'm terribly sorry to disturb you at such an hour, but he insisted you would know what it was in regard to." "I'll be right down," I informed the clerk. I removed the room-supplied silky garments that made my skin smell like lavender and put my jeans and cotton button shirt back on. The underarms were wet. I wished I had packed another. I rode the lift to the ground and began to get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach. What was I doing here? Why was I given a fake name and an assignment by some mysterious text message? And who was Mr. Carver? I was greeted as the doors to the elevator opened, and a man entered the lift and insisted we travel back up to the 11th floor, back to my room. "Mr. Carver, I presume?" "Mr. Cartwright," he said. "You know that is not my name." He smirked. He reached down and patted a briefcase he was holding in his left hand. "I have some documents you need to sign. I wanted the CCTV to capture my delivery of them to you so that there can be no ambiguity," he explained. Naturally, I was confused by this statement. In our room, he locked the door and checked the peephole. Satisfied, he unbolted the door and turned to me. "Take a seat on the bed," he said. I did as I was told, for the primary reason that I wanted answers, and at least if I indulged this man's requests, he might provide them to me. "Okay, so now what?" I asked, as my butt hit the fabric. He placed his briefcase on the nightstand and unlocked the latches. He removed a pistol with a silencer attached. "This is a Smith & Wesson 9mm hollow point with a factory-issued silencer," he explained, cocking the barrel. I stood up in fear. "Relax," he said. "If you were to conduct a background check on one Terrence Cartwright, of the date of birth and residence listed on the identification we sent you, you will notice that this man purchased and is the legal owner of this firearm. That would make you the legal owner of this firearm." He held the gun by its grip firmly in his grasp. Naturally, this did not make any sense to me, and I'm sure my face relayed that to him. "Now you will recall, you came down to meet me in the lobby, and you escorted me back to your room," he explained further. I took a step backward in the small room that felt as if it were getting smaller and tighter. It also felt as if the air was being sucked out of the room in a hidden vacuum that no one could hear, but that my lungs could feel. I felt myself wheezing. Mr. Carver then held the gun to his temple. "As such, there should be no ambiguity that with your gun, registered to your name, that I am simply another victim of one Terrence Cartwright." With that, he removed the pistol from his forehead and squirted off a round at the wall behind, nearest the ensuite. The wood of the panel flickered outwards, but because of the silencer, the noise was negligible to the neighbors. Carver then opened the suitcase and removed a satchel of dark blood with a label attached. He loosened the cap and began pouring the blood from the bag onto the walls and floor, spraying it in a randomized direction. Once this had finished, the so-called Mr. Carver then pointed the pistol at my face and ordered me to remove my clothing. I complied. He then began getting dressed in my clothes while I had my back turned and my naked butt facing him, as per his threats. I knew I was alone by the sound of the room door opening and closing. I was alone with nothing for company but the smoke emitting from the bullet hole and the seeping dark blood that etched into the crevices where the carpet met the skirting boards. Having never been the victim of a fraud before, I was stumped as to what had occurred and what the bigger picture of the scenario might have been. I went to check my phone to find the text messages of the mysterious communications that summoned me to the hotel on this fateful night. Naturally, I discovered this was taken along with my other possessions when the fraudster took off with my jeans, shirt, and shoes. I wanted to call the cops, but thought better of it due to the ludicrousness of the story. Funny how things turn out. Here I am writing it out by hand on a pen supplied by the California Police Department and given a pro bono lawyer whom, I wonder if she even believes my story. "It's not for me to believe or otherwise," she explained. "I'm just here to make sure you get a fair hearing." She even called me Mr. Cartwright. "My name is Murphy," I remember yelling. "Tom Murphy." I was sick of having to explain myself. No one seemed to believe that I wasn't this Terrence Cartwright person. Maybe I didn't need to include that part. Either way, you get the gist of my dilemma. Someone set me up and I didn't know what I was getting into. I use the services of online websites sometimes, and we sometimes engage in these activities in hotels and whatnot. You know what I mean? I thought this was another one of those scenarios. I didn't realize I was going to be framed for murder, and the guy isn't even dead. He faked it. God, I know how this is all going to sound and look. Well, answer me this. If I was seen running out of the hotel room supposedly after I had committed the act, how come the police found me naked in the room when they came pounding on the doors? Tell me there is CCTV that is available that shows me re-entering the room? There isn't, because I was always in there, because this guy faked it. I'm not crazy, I swear. Anyway, this is my full statement as far as I can remember. I give this statement for transparency, and I understand that it may be used in court proceedings. Now tell me where to sign.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.